Hey guys, welcome to the MMA Brothers podcast, the newest, baddest, and best podcast out there. And let's get it going.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the MMA Brothers podcast. My name is Daryl,
My name is Asher.
and we're talking UFC 252, Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic post-fight podcast. Let's get it going.
Oh yeah, what an event! But there's a lot that we're gonna get into. I'm a sad guy. I knew either if Miocic or Cormier was gonna lose, I wasn't gonna feel good because Miocic, good guy, fireman, and then everybody loves Daniel Cormier. So definitely it was gonna be a tough one. But as per usual, we're gonna start at the bottom of the main card. So lots of good fights on this one. We're gonna start with Dodson versus Marab Dalvashvili. I don't even know how to say his name properly, to be honest. But anyways, Dodson versus Marab. So in this fight, John Dodson has, in my opinion, was a more experienced fighter in the flyweight division. He fought for the title. He fought twice with Demetrius Johnson, so I actually picked him to win this fight. Marab is much bigger, much stronger fighter. John Dodson was super slippery. Like every time Marab, I think he had like 20 takedown attempts. Yeah, he landed 2 out of 20 takedown attempts, which is an insane number to attempt that many takedowns. But Marab was able to land 2. John was able to get up from the other 18 in the first round. Marab was landing those knees to John Dotson's the back of his legs. He landed like I think 30 plus. And if that was me, I wouldn't be able to walk anymore after that. But Marab continued the same pressure in the second and third round. John Dodson was fighting like Tyron Woodley, just so fixated on landing that left hand. I know he's got power in it, but he should have thrown way more strikes. I mean, 90 strikes for 3 rounds it's not good. It's not good enough. That's 30 strikes a round. He can do better than that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. What did you think about the fight, Daryl?
This one really, really pissed me off because this is what I think. This is my personal opinion, right? And I was having an argument with other people about this, and I was saying, this is more so about the Marab fight and other fights. In MMA, what do you prefer? I like to think that a, someone stopping a takedown, right, is just as good as you attempting a takedown. And I don't think it scored the same. I think just because Marab landed 10% of his takedowns, that should be a negative against him. I think that it should be plus points for John that he was able to stop 90% of the takedown attempts against him. Well, now I think that's a problem with the scoring. Personally, I don't know what everyone else thinks because just because you're touching my legs and you think you've taken me down and I've stopped you, right? In basketball, if you're shooting a 3-point jumper and I block it, like I think you know what I mean. Like it's a stat. It seems like in MMA, it's totally disregarded the fact that I stopped your takedowns. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, cool, but it's like null and void. Like
No, I
nothing
get what
happened.
you're saying. You're saying takedown accuracy should be accounted for as well, right?
Yes, and takedown defense should also be because if you're going to weigh takedowns as heavily as they do in MMA, you should also rate takedown defense close to, if not just as much as you do the takedown. Because to me, the whole purpose of the takedown, right? Obviously, self-explanatory is to take someone down. Now, my takedown defense is to stop you from doing that. Now, if you're going to get so many points for taking me down, I should get a similar amount of points from stopping you. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
Because
get it. But in this fight, though, the problem is look at Mirab's stats. He landed 88
yes,
strikes.
yes, yes. But yeah, anyone who was watching this fight knows majority of his 88 strikes came in the first round, and there were knees in the clinch, and there were knees to his legs, knees. And this is what I'm saying, guys. Like if you watch the actual fight, Dodson did not deserve to win. Don't get it twisted. But I think moving forward as a community, we need to understand that you need to value the defense as much as the offense. Not as much, similarly to the offense. Because I think that right now, takedown defense isn't regarded highly enough, in my opinion, because the whole purpose and goal, right, for you to take the guy down is to get control and get points, right? And if I stop you from doing that, I should also get points. You feel me?
No, I get it. I get your logic, but
But
I mean,
John had amazing takedown defense. I think it was the classic striker versus wrestler, and the striker was afraid to throw in case he got taken down, and then that's what happened the whole fight. I mean, I've never fought or done anything, but at least in the last round, last 2 minutes, throw heavy. Doesn't matter if you get taken down; you're already losing the fight, right?
mhm.
I think that message needs to be sent to more fighters because you see it. You're like, okay, I don't know if he's tired. If you're tired, it's one thing, but if you're still, you're gun shy. about, throwing hands, and you're already losing like, you know what I mean? Like, if you get taken down, it doesn't matter because you're losing the fight anyways. Might as well
Yeah,
just go there and blitz him. But yeah, we'll move on. We can move on to Herbert Burns versus Daniel Pineda. And I just like to point out that I got none of my picks right this whole night, and I was super pissed. But
that's why you're so defensive. But yeah, let's move on to Herbert Burns versus Daniel Pineda. You can break it down.
so this one, I mean, Daniel Pineda, what a performance, man. I totally was not expecting this from him. I had Herbert, as did most people, because of his experience. It just looked like Daniel Pineda was a black belt in jiu-jitsu for the last 30 years. The way he was able to reverse positions, get the crucifix position, elbow him, stuff him. I'm like, I was like, Herbert, man, you know what? Next time you fight, you better be a severe underdog, because when you're the favorite, you fight like shit. But that's fine. And guys, the reason you're seeing some South Korean on the UFC events is because my brother's there. And that's the reason for the switch format. We explained that in the previous podcast. But
Yeah, Daryl will start sharing his screen instead, so you don't
no,
have
no,
to see
no, no,
all the
no, no.
Asian.
It's fine. It's
No,
fine.
I mean in the
Add a
next
little culture
episode.
to it. The next episode, we'll have it in English. We'll move back and forth. But yeah, guys. So this one is a very interesting fight. I mean, Herbert did well on the feet, but then when he got clinched and got taken down, you could see. Like, I thought he was the jiu-jitsu practitioner. I thought he'd be the one who's controlling the ground exchange, but no. Congrats to Daniel Pineda. It's a very good fight to watch. Good kudos to him.
Yeah, he was willing to take it to the ground. He didn't care. He reversed positions, like you said. Everybody thought Burns would kill it on the ground, but I think Daniel Pineda, it was also it was a short notice fight for him as well. I think he
No, in
said,
1 week.
yeah, I think he said he had to lose like 27 pounds, something crazy. Like it's an insane amount of weight. So, and then yeah, he put it on Burns. I honestly thought the referee could have stopped it a little earlier because like he was in a crucifix and just getting pummeled. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, he's not
Like,
leaving this position. Like, so yeah, there
I
was
think
like 5, 10 more shots that he didn't need to eat that he ate.
Yeah, I know, and I think the crucifix position is the best position to be in as the aggressor in MMA. I think it's even better than full mount from the
Is it
standpoint
better
of
than the Dagestani handcuff?
Dagestani, because you can get up from the Dagestani handcuff, depending on who's doing it. If it's what's his name, Kazmat, or if it's Khabib, you're not getting up. But anyone else, you might have a chance. But yeah, I even lost my train of thought. I even forgot what I was talking about.
The crucifix.
Yes, the crucifix position in MMA, I think, is the best position to be in as the aggressor, because literally there's nothing the guy can do other than try to score him out, because you're pinned him down, your weight's on his chest, your arms are extended. There's so many things you can do for an Americana. You can choke him out. You can do so many things. You can just, you're rendered defenseless in that position. But yeah.
Yeah, so good job for Daniel Pineda. I didn't know much about him before this fight, to be honest, but Herbert Burns, hopefully your brother is able to get that dub against Kamaru Usman soon, whenever that fight does take place. So I'm going to move on to the next fight, Junior Dos Santos versus Jorginho Rosenstrike. So, my boy Jorginho, he did it again. Biggie boy, he came through with the dub, twinkle toes. JDS didn't get it done. He was moving well. You know, the UFC posted a video of him dancing, but he's sitting in the same spot, like, oh, look at those dance fools. Everybody was like, what are you guys talking about? He's really stationary. um, but yeah, JDS, you know, in this fight, like he did fight well. He kept distance. He was throwing a lot of jabs to the body. He threw a couple overhand rights. His boxing was solid. He threw a lot of kicks too, a lot of spinning techniques. The commentators were even talking about that, saying that like Junior is capable of that. He has knocked out Mark Hunt with a spinning wheel kick, so he does have a lot of tools in the box. But in this fight, yeah, I honestly didn't have anything bad to say about Junior's performance. But the only thing that I think Rosenstrike was aware of this too, Junior does not fight well moving backwards. Once he starts to move back along the fence and with the smaller cage, he was in trouble, right? So first round, I think it was pretty even. You could have scored it for JDS or Rosenstrike, but I think I was leaning towards JDS just because of the more efficient strikes. And even though Jorginho did land a lot of leg kicks too. In the second round, you know, like I said before, JDS is not the best at fighting backwards. Got caught up around the fence in the smaller cage. Blop, blop, you know, dropped, tried to get back up, got hit with more strikes, and then it was pretty much over. So good job, Rosenstrike. In terms of what's next for him, there's plenty of options. There's Lewis, there's Curtis Blades, there's Ngannou again. There's I don't even know who else. Overeem. The second fight, because in my opinion, Overeem beat him all
I
5 rounds in two.
don't even see Jorginho versus over him again.
Yeah, like in that fight, Overeem won every second except the last 10 seconds of the fight where he got TKO'd. So that's pretty much it for that fight. What did you think?
Another disappointing one for me from JDS, bro. He was doing so well in the first round. His chin held up. He got hit with a few shots. But I don't get it, man. I don't see Jorginho throwing heavy. And guys drop like flies. I'm just like, maybe there's something I'm not seeing here, man. Because I'm just like,
It's brass knuckles, dog.
like even his clip against Andrei Arlovsky, I was like, how did he drop him? You know
That
what I mean?
one, it literally was a jab to the side of the face, and Arlovsky was just like dead guy. I'm
But
like,
that's
what was
everyone
that?
who gets touched by Jorginho. It seems like the dude he's throwing pillow punches that land with, significant strike power, man. You know what I mean? It's just
Dude,
throw a
the
jab.
Arlovsky one, I had no idea what happened. I was like, huh? How did he get knocked out? I don't get it.
It's like, yo, because it looked like Junior. You know, the first time he got dropped, it looked because when he was moving, it looked like he rolled with the punch, but he still got dropped. I'm like, yo, what's going on? You know what I mean? I just think he's taking too many shots, man. Your chin's only got so many strikes it can take. Somehow Stipe's is still holding up, which is good for him. But in the heavyweight division, man, it's just Shark Tank, man. It's Shark Tank. Bap, bap. I mean, like,
Heavyweight division, just Kevin O'Leary, like Mark Cuban, and I mean Shark Tank, bro. Let's go.
yeah, let's move on. Casino, I don't even want to give you your congratulations because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think I ever will because man, he doesn't look like he's throwing anything with ferocity and just people
Just
just
touching
dropping like
guys' face. The only person he touched that didn't get KO'd is Ngannou, but that's a different guy right
and
there.
Francis did what he should have done and just moved through it because it just doesn't look like he's throwing it hard, man.
I know. So we're gonna move on to the next one. You want to break this one down?
Yeah, Marlin Vera versus Sean O'Malley. Fight started off well. I think both fighters were throwing some. Sean threw a few light kicks. He landed a kick to the body. He landed a few strikes. Now, something weird happened. I don't know what happened. I actually can get into it because I think Megan O'Leary talked about it after the fight. But Sean O'Malley just took a weird step. Like when he went to, I think he fainted that he was going to move forward. And then it looked like his toes crumbled. And then his foot followed. And then it looked like his ankle broke. Obviously, it didn't break, but it looked like something exploded in his ankle that he couldn't put any weight on it. Then he had to switch stances, right? And then every single time he tried to put weight on his ankle, he couldn't even put weight on it, right? So, I mean, congrats to Cheeto, but don't. This guy's like, I told you. I was like, yo, Cheeto, man. Like at the end of the day, you beat someone who blew out you know what I mean? He blew out his ankle. Like you have to have a little bit of context. At least have some humility about yourself in victory and say, hey, man, I don't know, something happened. I capitalized on the opportunity. Because I thought it was an early stoppage as well by the Herb, but I saw the elbow land, another elbow, and then it looked like Sean was out for a second, and then he came back to right when Herb stopped the fight. So it was an iffy stoppage, but Sean didn't need to eat any more shots. Clearly, he was done. He was injured. Everyone and their mom could see that his ankle, he had the problem with his ankle. So, kudos to Cheeto, but, man, Sean, I know it sucks.
In this fight, to me, there's no early or late stoppage. Herb did the right thing. As soon as those two strikes landed, I don't care. I don't need to see O'Malley go out. Clearly, he was severely hurt. And as soon as the fight got stopped, he reached straight for his ankle, right? Or his leg, whatever it was.
Yeah, he could stretch it out of the thing.
Yeah, so to me, good job, Herb Dean. That was an excellent stoppage, even though, O'Malley technically was still there. There's no need for him to take more damage because he probably wouldn't have been able to stand up after being on the ground. So, Sean O'Malley, apparently this was a pre-existing injury from years ago. It still hasn't gone away, so I'm assuming he's going to be out for a while now. But yeah, like you said, Marlon Vera should not take say oh, I'm the man because he beat a one-legged fighter who was hurt. So If it was him that caused the damage, let's just say he checked a leg kick or he was leg kicking Sean O'Malley like a lot, and then Sean O'Malley, like his legs got damaged from that, then yeah, take credit. But it sounds like it was an issue from before. And yeah, he has an L on his record now, which sucks. But at the same time, it's an understandable L. If he continues in his career and like ends up becoming the next big star, and people see that one loss, people always go back and say like, oh yeah, that was when he messed up his leg. It was like whatever, you know what I mean? So to me, in my eyes, is still undefeated. That's just me. But I do hope he does take as much time as he needs to get his leg 100%. He should not rush back, even though his leg feels fine and whatever. If I was his doctor, I'd say, bro, just rest another 2 months. Do not do any exercise. Don't do any running. Make sure that leg is 100%, 100%, not even 100%, like 1,000% good. And then you can resume your MMA career. And I want to see Marlon Vera versus Sean O'Malley too. So even if Marlon Vera is about to get a title shot like next year, he's just blazing through fulls and whatever. I don't care if he's number 2 ranked in the bantamweight division. Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera too is what I want to see. And then from there, if Marlon Vera is able to beat O'Malley, then I'll say, okay, then Marlon Vera is the truth. There's no questions asked. He beat him fair and square. Both of them were healthy, and he got it done. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, man. I echo those thoughts, dude. I'm not gonna go as far and say he's still undefeated in my eyes. I mean, an L's an L, and you have to make do with what happens in the octagon. Anything can happen. It's one of the most unforgiving sports. But kudos to Vera. You got the dub. As controversial as it was, because Sean. Yeah. Anyways, that's depressing. I don't even want to speak about it. Let's change gears. Let's head on to Stipe versus DC.
Yeah, on to more depressing topics. So we're going to talk about the heavyweight championship, the fight to determine who the GOAT is. So we got Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier 3. Now, this fight, as you can see, the stats are in Miocic's favor. The first round, Daniel Cormier did well. He landed a lot. I think he landed more strikes than Stipe. He's a more active fighter, just like he was in both fights, like in the first and the second fight. And he landed a takedown in the first round. So I remember post-fight, Cormier was asked, why didn't you take down Miocic more? But he said, like, Miocic didn't overextend himself. I guess he kept himself in like kicking and boxing range. So Cormier is not the type of guy that's going to just like dive in for a takedown, right? If like he like in desperation, like he has to be in that space in which he can grab a single leg, because he doesn't go for double legs. Cormier has never been the guy to like run and then grab both legs and then go for a double leg, right? He's always a single leg type of guy, or by the fence, right? So that opportunity came in the first round, did not come in the other rounds. Second round, Cormier was doing well until he got kind of trapped by the fence, and then he tried running away. The thing is, though, Cormier is not very evasive with his movements, right? He's either like moving left, right. You know what I mean? Like he's very simple with his movements. So when he did get caught up by the fence,
He keeps it to the basics of movement. He's
yeah.
always out to side. He's not really moving backwards.
Yeah, so when he got caught up by the fence, I saw his movement and he was kind of trying to just like move away and shield. But I'm like, Cormier, I've seen many fighters like kind of like do this, you know what I mean? Like they bob and weave out of the way to kind of create space to exit. Like when Stipe was fighting Ngannou, like he was doing a lot of that too, right? Where you kind of get trapped by the fence. You see O'Malley do it as well. They kind of like fake, like they're going to go one way and then they go the other. Don't just run one way and then kind of shield and hope you don't get punched. And that's how he almost got TKO'd in that round. So the referee did a good job by letting Cormier hang in there for the last few seconds. When he got up, he was clearly still hurt from those punches, but he was able to recover quickly. Third round, I can't quite remember how it went down, but that's when the eye poke happened, right? The eye poke happened in the third round. Mark Goddard said, no, it wasn't an eye poke. I know DC poked Stipe in the first round, but it didn't seem too bad. Stipe was able to come back. The poke, I don't know if it was from the punch or from the eye poke, but like the start of the fourth round, you could see Cormier's eye was terrible. Like he looked like he almost like one eye wasn't even like working, and I'm like, holy, this is not good, right? So, and then from there, I knew I'm like, there's just no chance Cormier is going to win this fight now. Yeah, I thought he was going to get TKO'd.
And people online, I understand you're saying two eye pokes, but like think about it this way: they're not of equal value. Yes, they're both unintentional, but dude, he blinded him. Stipe was still fine, and you can see his finger legitimately went deep into his eye. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Mark Goddard, great, phenomenal referee. He missed that one. Mistakes happen. Stuff is missed. And I'm not going to create excuses for DC. Stipe was the better fighter tonight, but
But Stipe should also acknowledge that he did an eye poke. You shouldn't continue fighting if you know that you eye poked the guy. You know what I mean?
No, it's up to the referee to stop it.
Nah, that's dude, come on. You should know better too, because I know when Cormier eye poked him, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry," blah blah blah. But DC was like, "Yo, he eye poked me," and Stipe kept moving forward. I'm not saying Stipe is a dirty fighter. Maybe he didn't realize that he eye poked him, but I'm saying that if you are a fighter and you know that you eye poked a guy, you see it happen all the time. They'll stop and like, "Yo, you good?" They'll kind of like reach out, like kind of like slap it off or whatever. Just say like, "Oh, my bad," or whatever. It happens,
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't have to. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's dirty if you don't do that. Kind of like you gotta fight clean, right? So, but yeah, I think Stipe is a clean fighter. It's just unfortunate situation. And then yeah, fourth round was kind of like the fifth round as well. Kind of competitive. You could have scored it either way. To me, I had it 3-2. I had Cormier winning the first and Cormier winning the fourth. I think I can't remember if it was the third or fourth round. And then the fifth, I gave it to Stipe because of clinch control time. So that was pretty much the way I scored the fight. What did you think?
Started with that stupid clinch control time. He did nothing, and this is the thing that also is pissing me off. If you do nothing with 3 minutes of clinch control, what's it worth? It should be worth nothing because he did nothing. He didn't land any strikes. He didn't take him down. He didn't do anything. So that's another thing that I'm pissed off about. Why do we congratulate dudes for hugging someone for against the cage for 3 minutes and doing nothing? What did he do?
It's like ground control time, right? If someone's on the ground and you're controlling them, it's kind of the same thing.
It's not, because you're hugging him against the cage, because you're not doing anything. On the ground, if that happens, if there's no advancements in positions or anything, they stand you up. Do they not?
Yeah, I mean, the referee Mark Goddard could have also separated them. It happens all the time.
And I was really pissing me because he wasn't. I'm like, Mark, what are you seeing? Is Stipe, taking his back? Is Stipe working something? All Stipe would do in the clinch is hold Daniel's wrist and hug him. Like, what do you, like, what's there? Like, you know what I mean? What are you doing there? You doing offense through defense? Like, what are you doing?
He did hold the position a little too long. Mark Goddard, in my opinion, could have separated them.
He should have separated them numerous times because you know what would happen? DC would start throwing hands. They start exchanging. Stipe doesn't like it. Holds him up against the cage. Why are you scoring that for Stipe? To me, it should be null and void. He's not doing anything. If it's different, if you're landing clinch strikes, you're landing knees, you're landing foot stomps, keep active. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, perfect example. Lots of foot stomps. Kamaru's throwing shoulders. You know what I mean? He's beating up his body. I will appreciate that any day of the week. But when we reward fighters for hugging someone against the cage and doing nothing, to me, that's stupid. That's like dribbling a basketball, right, and not shooting it, right, and then there's no shot clock. Then you're like, dude, okay, you have the ball, but you're not doing anything with it. Why would I say that team's good if they, you know what I mean? That's like possession for possession's sake in soccer.
But the thing is, though, like in MMA, there's dominant positions. Even let's just say, for example, I'm in a fight and somebody is putting the pressure on me more. Like, are the ref's going to score it or the judge is going to score it for that guy because he put more pressure?
No. There's a difference between octagon control and clinch time. There's a difference. Octagon control is your – sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
To me, clinch control and octagon control are different, right? In the sense that, let's just say I'm advancing, you could reverse the clinch position and now your back is against the cage, right? So it's not the same thing, right? Now, in terms of clinch control, I appreciate clinch control if you are working the position, if you are trying to do something with it. What did Stipe do in that clinch control position for 3 minutes? Tell me something. We're all watching the same fight. I dare someone to tell me something definitive he did in those 3 minutes other than just hold his wrist.
He didn't do much. He didn't do much.
That's my point. Why are we rewarding him for it? What? So he just takes a breather and holds his wrist so he doesn't get hit? And then
but you should reward Cormier for being in that position too?
No, stop it. The referee needs to say, hey, Stipe, man, you got to do something with it. The referee needs to show and tell the judges. He's not doing anything with that position.
The referees don't tell the judges what.
No. I'm not saying Mark is going to speak. Hey, man, he's not doing. No, but by stopping that position, right, in a clinch and saying, hey, separate. There's no movement. What are you doing? You're sending a message saying he's not doing anything there.
No, I agree. I see it happen all the time. Some refs allow positions to kind of manifest themselves because if you're in that clinch position, you could get some underhooks. You could end up getting a takedown. So it is an advantageous position to be in the clinch because you never know. You could land some knees. You could put someone in the Muay Thai clinch. There's many different things that can
There's so
happen.
many
So
things you
some
said. Did Stipe
fighters.
attempt one of them? Did Stipe attempt anything?
No, I get it. But what I'm saying though is some referees are more lenient towards those positions because they understand that you can get an advantage from there. So some refs will allow you more time to do it. Some refs, I think, I forget who it was Keith Peterson or whoever it was, but some refs literally within like 20 seconds, if you haven't done anything, they like stop and they do.
Yes, and I appreciate that. You know
Yeah.
why? Because they're actually not doing anything. And that's my problem with that. I'm like, you're rewarding Stipe for clinch time with no damage. He did no advances in the position. He did no damage. So why are we giving that to him?
Yeah.
Like, he had the dominant position and did what? He did nothing. Anyone who's listening to this, please send us a message at MMA Brothers on Instagram and tell me what you saw that I clearly did not see and Asher didn't see with Stipe's clinch control. Because all I saw was a lot of hugging. I think, Daniel, he's retiring. Stipe loves the dude. He thought he'd give him a hug, but he hugged him for too long. You know what I mean? I didn't know, I'm starting to sound like Conor McGregor here. What are we going to, reward guys for hugging each other and sniffing each other's jock straps? Like, come on, what are we doing here, man? It's a fight.
Yep. So DC is retired now. Miocic is champ. John Jones has said that he's going to come for Miocic's belt. He's ready to go, but Dana White has said that Ngannou has that next shot. So we'll see how the heavyweight division plays out. I'm sad for Cormier. He did announce his retirement, saying that I only fight for belts, and I don't think I'm going to have a fourth fight with Stipe, so I'm done. So what's his name? Dana White, he's saying that like he doesn't think Cormier is done. He thinks Cormier is going to come back or something, but who knows? Maybe Cormier will chill for like, do you agree?
I don't think Cormier should come back.
Yeah, I think Cormier is done too. It's a tough L to take, but honestly, it's a respectable L. No one's gonna say like, "Oh, you got like TKO'd or KO'd in your last fight, or whatever." So it is what it is. Stipe is here to stay and still champ, so it doesn't get much easier for Stipe though. Like the road ahead is just murky.
Yeah, the road ahead actually requires effort in the clinch.
So yeah, so he's got, like I said, he's got Francis, he's got Blades, he's got John Jones potentially, and yeah, Derek Lewis also. If he can get more wins, he can also get a shot at the title to fight Stipe. So the heavyweight division is back. There's a lot of life left, and yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see how it goes. That's been UFC 252, guys. Thank you for listening and watching. As always, you can follow us on Instagram at MMA Brothers Pod, and then we post this everywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Google, wherever you want to listen to us, you can. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. So I think there's another event this weekend. I think it's a Frankie Edgar event, right? I think that's who's next. Frankie Edgar versus Pedro Munoz. So we're going to hit you with a preview for that one as well. And then a post-fight once that's done next weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Daryl, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, just a few things to say, guys. Thanks again for listening. If you value clinch time with no damage or any efforts, please unfollow us and subscribe because you don't know anything that you're talking about. No, I'm just joking. Guys, thank you. Let us know what you guys actually think about what happened this weekend. As Asher said, we're gonna have more content coming for you guys. And thank you for listening and have a great one.
All right, see ya.